We are going to be ready here with a bit of a preview of what's coming up tomorrow, the semifinals. So, first game, Semmler, what do you think?
This is Virtus Pro versus SK. I think Virtus Pro struggled entirely too much versus a wounded Astralis. And SK will make short work of them. I think it's going to be an easy meal for the Brazilians. I think it's kind of hard to argue otherwise. I mean, you can't underestimate Virtus Pro. They certainly have the individual firepower to make it difficult, but it is one of those games where it feels like it should be inevitable that SK just grind it out and get that final spot. I don't think that VP right now have what it takes to stop SK.
I think VP's going to take a map.
Well, they'll grind it.
Like I think, the good thing is it'll be maps that everyone likes, assuming there's no curveball. So I actually think, like for example, Mirage. I think VP has a chance there. I think that could be really fun.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Problem is, unlike the classic VP Train or Overpass, where it's hard to see them winning that because like Lumossi, SK. I think there's still a level of
It like comes down to like how much respect SK are willing to give, because they showed today like they've got that hair trigger like fucking B split, you know, like these real disrespectful like executes where it's just like actually we're just gonna completely run into mid, one smoke in a connector and run into mid and take over B, and like just these like total disrespect kind of like moves where it's just like even if we have to take a duel, we know we're gonna win the duel, right? So do you think VP like are they gonna be able to teach SK to actually play some real CS against them? I'm not super sure. Even on Mirage, right, it looks like SK are pretty solid right now. The only reason it was a struggle at all versus Flipside, I feel like, is because SK were just like, right, we've got this in the bag, boys, let's fuck around, and then all of a sudden it was like, it got
The thing
close.
is, though, I actually think VP should have no pressure in this game.
Yeah,
It's
that's
totally
fair.
expected they should lose. They even know on maps, etc. So actually, I think in that sense, like I don't think level-wise they can match up to SK, but actually I think SK will have some pressure on them. Actually, like they will be in a situation where, you know, there might be times where they're not hit a peak form or whatever. And the good thing about VP, I always thought this about both VP and NIP. The reason why they have such a great history of always making the majors, like quarters, semis, always like taking maps off the better teams, is like they never really crumble. They can play badly, you can outplay them, these two things can happen.
Sure.
But they never like, oh, you're beating me, oh, in that case, like I concede mentally and I beat myself up and I just play even worse. No, they always scrap, you know, so that if SK turn up either too cocky or even worse, if they just have a little dip for a map, I think VP can get a map. But I'm pretty sure, I don't think anyone can beat SK right now.
No, that's the thing. That's what like I just feel like it's inevitable that they will like 2 maps, 3 maps. Like I fully expect to see SK in the finals tomorrow.
I do think there is some evidence that SK, on the other hand, sort of lack that quality that you're talking about with VP. I think they have shown some signs in the past that every once in a while, when things go south, some of their players, maybe because they're a little bit younger, I think some of them won't do it, like Fallen and FNX. I think are less prone to that, but Taco and Cold Zero, I think could have maps where they sort of tune off a little bit, maybe because of the pressure.
I mean, when you think of the losses, right? ECS.
Exactly.
What I wonder is how much of it is like bravado, and how much of it is real. When I'm outside with Cold talking for a quick minute out there, and I'm just like, so do you feel any pressure anymore? He's just like, nope, don't feel any pressure. This major is ours.
That's also the famous last words before someone just gets me.
Right?
Buster.
I wonder.
What's his name?
But he's just like,
Buster Douglas, you know?
We really want to play. Like he's telling me like VP, we're gonna win. We really want Fnatic, right? Because that's at least it'll be a fun game. Okay. It'll be an entertaining game, right? Because we always play it close against Fnatic. Okay. But for him, he's just like when it's just like Na'Vi, right? They hit that block. And he's just like, when we got over that block, all of a sudden we really enjoy playing Fnatic, and we just want to play Fnatic. It's no longer like we're caving, you know, under that pressure because it's Fnatic. He's like, now we feel confident against Fnatic because we've beaten them once, so we know we can beat them. And so we can do it. There's no reason for us not to do it again, right?
Yeah, not the Olafmeister Fnatic though. We'll see on that. Listen, just because you're going to beat up a bunch of old Polish guys, don't think that means you're going to take out Olafmeister the King. So just pump the brakes, Cold Zero. Otherwise, people will go and I want everyone, if SK Game loses to Fnatic in some incredible fashion, link this part of the video where he said that about Cold, and then Cold Zero probably has Twitter. Tweet at him maybe, tell him what you think.
Setting it up.
In a friendly banter sort of way.
Wow.
Other semi-final?
Friendly banter. Well, there is one more. Fnatic and Liquid, obviously.
I've got a rule for you before we start here, boys. Okay.
Go on.
So I've listened to lots of Anders comments on games and commentary and all this of it. So there's going to be a rule for this segment of the show. Okay.
All right.
Anyone who is going to tell me that they think Liquid could do it and they actually think like they've got a chance, you know what? Maybe on this map, and if simple. Unless you're going to predict Liquid to win, shut the fuck up, you pussy, hedging your bets, motherfucker. What would you like to say, Anders? The floor is yours to begin with.
No agnostics allowed at all. No riding the fence. No, I think Liquid are going to get bodied in this map.
Oh, okay. It's gone the other way. What the fuck? Okay. It's gone the other way. What? A heel turn.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood Hogan now. Okay.
It's ready.
What the hell?
No, I honestly, it's impressive. Nitro, I think, has been playing very well, and the sort of the crazy mad factor of Simple is all good fun and games. But sure. I think Fnatic have too many people who can.
They have too many simples, right?
They have too many simples. That's the end of it.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's my problem. Is like when I was watching this game today of Na'Vi versus Team Liquid. It's not like Na'Vi played badly, and okay, maybe Flamey played under par and Nuke. Right. Okay, I can give you that much. Other people stepped up though. Edward was above his normal level, so I think Na'Vi still played very well. They should have been a very good test on Cobble. But what happened on Cobble is basically Simple was just like, I'm above everyone, and I just do whatever I want now. Now that's the problem. Is really that's like how you define the core of Fnatic. They have a bunch of people who can do that.
Yeah.
And when they do that, they just like get out that guy's way and just let him go. That's why my joke today in the Gambit series was like, Vuggo doesn't actually coach. All he does is he's a hype man, and he's just in there and he's like, get him. This motherfucker thinks he's in the same game as you. Show him what's up. Go flush it. Fade away up shot. Like he's just in there. Yes, he's a hype man. That's what he is. He's just spitting bars,
I can see that too, bro. Just because it feels like that sometimes, and they just really take off. I mean, I'm trying to grasp at straws, obviously, when I'm just like, well, what happens if Elige, shows up and actually hits a level, because he definitely felt like he kind of dropped off today. Yeah. So if the stars align and you have like a player like Nitro and a player like Simple, and then like the third player like Elige comes in, can it be close at least, or do we still see it just being like the Fnatic show? And
speaking of which, Hiko has been fairly absent, hasn't he? I mean, it feels like some of those maps he's not really been doing. He hasn't been doing as much as we maybe would like him to.
No, he hasn't had that ultra carry kind of like performance at all, actually.
I don't know if it's just because he's the one keeping Simple and the rest of the team from murdering each other. So that probably takes some energy.
Well, JDM's kind of a buff guy, so Simple can't really go after him, and then Hiko's obviously in the way to get into Liege, so I can see how that works.
Here's the problem though, it does go the other way too, which is like, okay, against Na'Vi, the reason why I always say Na'Vi's like the hardest team to beat, there's nothing to do, it's not even an intimidation factor. I don't actually think Na'Vi is like that intimidating a team. It's just the idea that like they grind you down, so you feel like you've never quite put them away. And I realise if people only watch the third map, they'll be like, of course you put Na'Vi away. Very rare Na'Vi ever loses without getting a double-digit rounds himself. Yeah. So the key thing for them is you have to comprehensively put them away. You have to beat them on this round, and then they're going to break you back. You have to beat them on the next. It's like you have to hit them with a whole bunch of punches. Not just the one knockout, But the problem I have is, I don't think they're actually that intimidating individually on Na'Vi, aside from maybe the occasional times when Guardian used to go crazy. So it's more like the machine grinds you down. When you play against Fnatic, when I think of people like Liege, I think of people like Nitro, these are the guys I'm worried, like Flusher just styles on them, or all of Mice is going super hot. I don't know if those guys just respond like that. Those are the guys who can get mentally blown out. Because that's what's funny is today, if Gambit was like a bunch of rookies, okay, you go, this is fine, you're going to learn from this. Like Dosi have played like 1 million games, and even they were getting mentally crushed. Yeah. They couldn't do anything, right?
In the rounds when that was
like the Fnatic effect. That wasn't even just Fnatic better than them. That was the effect of like we're going to intimidate you to become nothing.
I think what summed it up was like at that last round where they all had SMGs and the auto shotty on Dennis, and they were just running around on CT side, and Doja's just like crouched under drop, like he's literally just crouched, like please don't come here, Doesn't do a fucking.
He's the last guy in like the horror movie where he's like under the table with the torch and the shotgun. It's like you, grandma.
What I'm hearing you say is that now he's the Jason Voorhees of Counter-Strike. They're always coming back from all.
Okay. So in that case, Fnatic's Freddy Krueger, right? They're in your dreams, in your nightmares.
Yeah. Boom,
that's
good.
Obviously, like Olafmeister's like. No, obviously it'd be Flusher. He's like, I'm the brains and you're the brawn. Reference to
so basically to continue
Three Warriors there.
To continue this tonight. Series. No, to continue this tonight Gambit, where like the the teenage couple having sex in like the abandoned house or something like that.
I think I'm gonna get lucky tonight. Oh, things are going so well.
And then all of a sudden.
Right, and on that note, thank you for watching the video and subscribe to the channel and all that stuff, and we'll see you tomorrow for the semifinals.